again, if it was your daughter or if it was your wife or your sister, how would you take that? If right now we're talking about, I don't know, I'm feeling very emotional about this because if it is someone you know, it becomes really hard for you to process. But because it's someone you don't know, you don't care. Guys, you can do better. You can do better. Femicide. We need to stop and end femicide. Not only in Kenya, but in every corner of this world that a woman steps on, which is literally everywhere. For instance, just in Kenya, in the last 90 days, there's been over 100 women killed. Students, children, wives, mothers. I mean, women in every scope. And you might say, Anita, you're exaggerating. I can assure you myself, I have almost been raped 3 times before I turned 18. Hi guys. Welcome to the Real View podcast, Kama K Kama Kawaida. I am your host, Rachel Anita, and today I am coming with a very passionate topic that I feel everyone should be talking about in Kenya right now and all around the world. Femicide. We need to stop and end femicide. Not only in Kenya, but in every corner of this world that a woman steps on, which is literally everywhere. You might start by asking, what is femicide and what makes femicide different from just someone dying from malaria or any other disease? Well, femicide is the killing of women, very specific to women, biological women, often due to gender-based violence. So why do we say femicide has to end? For instance, just in Kenya, in the last 90 days, there's been over 100 women killed, students, children, wives, mothers. I mean, women in every scope. And this really hurts me as it gets me a bit emotional because I have been in spaces where women are often neglected, harassed in all ways and shapes and form. And I can assure you, if you're a man watching this, you probably don't know what it means to be a woman. And I'll just give you a short example. I'm feeling like crying. There's no woman I know who has never been sexually harassed. There's no woman I know who can easily leave their house at 1 a.m. and just decide to go somewhere without checking with a friend first. There's no woman I know who has not been, again, threatened, their life threatened by either a male colleague, their partner, anyone in their space. And you might say, Anita, you're exaggerating. I can assure you myself, I have almost been raped 3 times before I turned 18. And I had people around me to support me, to protect me. When I was a kid, someone actually tried that thing when I was about 6 years old. Again, I had people who came out and tried to protect me. Now back to femicide. This episode is about creating awareness and exploring ways we can protect our women. Because just because a woman says no does not give you the right to choose what they want to have. A no is a no and a yes is a yes. Often men would say, apana, she owed me this. There are many instances for me that I know of women who have been killed, who I know personally, which is sad because right now we know women to a personal level who have been killed. Most of it is financial. Unapata, the guy says, I invested so much in this woman. I probably paid for her school fees. I paid for her dowry. That means I own her. I paid for a gift, which is very, quote unquote, stupid, in my opinion. You cannot value someone's life money-wise. You cannot say this person is worth 100,000, this other person is worth 5,000 shillings. Does not make sense. And if you feel like when you bought a gift for someone, the only way to get it back is by killing them, I'm very ashamed of the person who raised you. So I want to talk about, this section is just for the women, because as we've seen, we live with people who are not, we cannot manage their emotions. We cannot manage what someone is going to do to us. No one wakes up knowing I'm going to die today. No one wakes up knowing their partner is going to kill them today. So for this segment, I'm going to talk about telltale signs that show you are probably in danger and you should probably run. That probably you're going to be another case of femicide. Number one, what I've seen mostly is controlling or obsessive behavior from partners, because sadly, more than half the times when femicide happens, it's because of our partners. Sadly, these are the people we love the most who often betray us. So how do we an example of controlling or obsessive behavior is, for instance, if you have a partner who cannot let you go out by yourself, who wants to know every inch of your day to the T, and you do not even have a minute to spare. I know it might be cutesy at first. You're in love, you're very excited. You're like, you know what? This guy you're texting 24/7, and it's great. It happens in the beginning. But when you're with someone even for a while and you see this obsessive behavior is not going anywhere, you hang out with your friends, he's mad about it. You can't even hang out with people of the opposite gender, and they're still mad about. You cannot literally do anything. They control your phone. I've had a friend of mine who sadly, even after she broke up with the guy, this guy, I don't know how they do it, tech guys, found a way to install an app in her phone and could track everything this girl was doing. If a man hits on her, he would text her and ask her, why are you texting this guy? Which was a very sad and very unsafe place for this woman. Now, number two, verbal or physical threats. Personally, I'm a person who believes that people mean what they say and they say what they mean. And when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them. When someone slaps you the first time, believe them. When someone hits you, believe them. When someone calls you names, believe them. When someone thinks you are unworthy, believe them. More often than not, as women, we give people so many chances until we run out of the chance ourselves. You give someone a meko slap, you're like, you know what? He was just angry. You're making excuses for this person. And that's one of the signs. If you're making excuses for your partner, please rethink your life. I'm not blaming you in any way, and I'm not being an apologist for this person. But if you're in hot water, the best way to do, or the best thing to do, is to get out of that. So don't forget, when someone threatens or someone just says something funny like, mi nitakuua, usicheze na mimi, naweza kuua. Guys, maybe I don't joke with such comments. You say that around me and I will see unataka kuniua. Even this thing going around of this mapengele dance, I don't like it. And you find your partner is there dancing. Who do you think is going to panga? I hope I'm saying it the right way. Mapangele is going to pangale you. Don't take it lightly. By the way, don't take it lightly. Number three is isolation from friends and family. Like I said, these people are very obsessive. Obsessive. This is a typical person who does this. He's very obsessive, and they don't want you to have a life outside of them. Think about it. If something goes haywire, who are you going to run to? If this person has cut off your friends, cut off your family, jipende tu kidogo, my dear sister, jipende tu kidogo. And sometimes we put this person's need in front of our own, and this causes so much hate even to ourselves. Because I even know of someone who was like, she was being hit. Oh God. And I usually, not that I condone abuse in marriage, but I usually find it almost hilarious when it happens. Okay, I don't want that to sound very insensitive. I find it funny. Oh, not funny. I find it funny that when it happens to someone who is not like married and a very young person, like find someone is 19 in campus in an abusive relationship. Just think about it. So remember to look at these red flags, because they're literally, you don't need a lot of red flags. Kwanza ikikuwa tu kama pink, ikishaanza kuwa pink, run, my sister. When someone is obsessive, someone does not want you to hang out with them, someone does not want you to have even any tiny bit of private space, someone does not even want you to enjoy your life, just run. Please run. Now I'm moving on to how women can stay safe. Now, umekimbia from this person, what are you going to do? Please trust your instinct. Number one, trust your instincts. Mtu akisema something, when they say it, they mean it. Trust your instincts. If you are somewhere, for instance, you are at a party And all of a sudden, our sixth sense, or is it our seventh sense? Our gut, when all of a sudden you just feel like things are not going the way you think they should, please leave. We've heard of women getting dragged at parties. We've heard of women being raped and all that. And funny enough, when all this happens, guess who they blame? Us. At the end of the day, even if you're the most innocent person in the world, they will still blame you for being in that situation. So I'm not condoning or apologizing for the insane creatures who do these things, but I'm asking you as a woman to please take that extra step or extra measure to keep yourself safe. If you are in a situation, my friend, you are in town in the middle of the night, you feel like someone is following you, run for your life. At the end of the day, that could be the only thing that saves you. That could literally be the only thing that saves you. You feel like this guy is looking at me funny. Do not start thinking it's butterflies. And again, the funny thing, by the way, guys, the funny thing about the people we end up settling with or the people we end up having healthy relationships with is that they don't feel like butterflies. They feel like home. And if a guy is giving you anxiety, if a guy is making you, every time unamwona your heart is just beating, you're just like, you're sweating and that probably is not the guy for you. When a guy is for you, you will feel safe. You will feel loved. You will feel you're just enough. Vile tu uko. All right? Number 2 on that, how you can stay safe, it's sharing location with friends. If you're going out, please share a location. These days, our phones have that feature. You can share your location with anyone at any time. For instance, myself, anytime I find myself in an Uber, sadly, that is where we are right now. Unapanda Uber, you don't know if that person is okay. The moment I step into that Uber, even if it's a 10-minute ride, I always share the location with my sister or my husband or someone, because I don't know if huyu mtu atafika alafu ikuwe ikakuwa. So do not take such short things for granted. Again, avoid situations that make you feel unsafe. You don't have to go everywhere at the same time. Avoid it. And yeah. So also, when it comes to how women can stay safe, if you are in an abusive relationship, or if you feel like you don't have anywhere to run to, which sadly is the position of most women I have talked to in these situations. Most women are in abusive relationships because they feel like hawana anywhere else to go, and you end up dying because you feel like hauna anywhere else to go. Guys, there are so many organizations going on right now, and especially I have to shout out to Usikimie. It's an organization run by a woman. I've forgotten her name. It's on Instagram, Facebook, I think everywhere. If you are in a situation where you feel like your life is threatened, if you're in a situation you feel like you have nowhere to go, just call that number. That lady comes to you, and as you're watching this, and even if you're not in a situation where you feel threatened, you can support that lady. She's doing very fantastic work out there. She has saved so many women from death, I believe, and girls and small babies and men too who are in abusive relationships. And that is awesome. There are very many homes right now. There are very many shelters. Legal aid, I'm not sure. I always feel like our police is a joke, but just run to them. Maybe they will help, but sometimes they're a joke. They're a joke. And now I want to talk to the men. I know I have maybe said some nasty things about you guys, but I ask you to forgive me and forgive all the women. Kama tumewakosea, mutusamee tafadhali. Before you go and kill someone, I want to really understand your thought process before you go and kill someone. Because I find life to be so precious. People are dying in hospitals. People are dying on road accidents. People are dying. Why would you just wake up and kill someone because you bought them a gift? Why would you wake up and kill someone because they said no to your advances? Why you wake up and kill someone just because? If you feel like you've been offended by this podcast, maybe you should listen more. There are roles that men can play to make this whole situation better for women. Number 1, challenge toxic masculinity. Like I've said, I've been in spaces, and sadly, some years back, I was in a conversation with 3 men who believed they own women. Now, kababa, if you believe you own women, si ungezaliwa hapo na mwanamke kameshikilia hapa kando yako kakwe kama ka appendage. But because you don't, We are all living human beings. We all have our aspirations. We all have our dreams and stuff like that. Do not go killing someone just because you're angry. If you're angry, please go to therapy. I have an episode on therapy. Please go and watch it. Relax, breathe in, breathe out. If you feel impulsive, you can go run a marathon or do something like that. But just remember, someone's life is very precious. And it doesn't have to be your daughter, your sister, because I feel people get more angry when it's someone they are related to. But when it's someone they do not know, they're like, oh, they can justify. I remember there was this case which was very huge in Kenya. This lady, I think she was called Anne. I don't remember her full name well. She was a medical student at Moi University, and this guy just came from a tattoo and hacked her to death. And people are like, yeah, the girl chopped his money. The girl did this. Again, if it was your daughter or if it was your wife or your sister, how would you take that? If right now we're talking about, I don't know, I'm feeling very emotional about this, because if it is someone you know, it becomes really hard for you to process. But because it's someone you don't know, you don't care. Guys, you can do better. You can do better. When you're in a setting, people, maybe you're hanging out, you're drinking, and then someone just says something random as a joke, like mimi huyo demu wangu akinifanyia hivyo mimi naweza muua vibaya. Please caution that man and tell him that is not welcome here, because at the next time mtu akifanya kitu kama hiyo, it's not nice. It's not nice that as a woman right now in Kenya, past 8 p.m. I can't go anywhere. Like I've said, I get into an Uber, I am scared. I go to the mall, I am scared. I go to the petrol station, I'm scared. I don't know if a man will come and pour kerosene on me, nanipane, petrol on me. I go to a party, I am scared. I go to a concert, I am scared. There's literally no safe place for women. We go to hospitals, we are raped and killed. Like, tutaenda wapi, guys? You need to do better. You simply need to do better than that. We don't owe you anything, neither do you, but you do owe us something, making this place a bit safer for us. So remember to, if you feel offended, again, like I said, communicate, run a marathon. There are many ways to control anger. We'll work on that. But it is not fair to harm women just because you can. We need to create a safer society for women, and we need to work on that. Remember, femicide is not just a woman's issue. It is a societal issue. It is how we relate to women. It is how we regard women, and we need to do better as a society. And I want to put out this call. We are having a walk on 10th of December. Please, I want you all to come. Women, men, I would like to see you there in your numbers. We need to shout. We need to scream. We need to let all this anger go, because women, we are suffering and we cannot keep quiet anymore. We cannot keep quiet. Like I've said, we are scared of leaving our houses. We are scared of our boyfriends. We are scared of our husbands. We are scared of even our sons. Please do better. And the government of Kenya, please do better. Si kutenga, kutenga. Please do better for us. The police, hey, jamani. How many times does a woman have to report someone? How many times do we have to go out of our way? Please. Thank you. And I'm crying on this one. So sorry, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And let me know how you feel about this. Thank you. And thank you so much for listening. Bye.